Hillary, Trump presidency a consequence of white supremacists, Putin's authoritarianism, by Alicia Poe for the GatewayPundit.com. Scandal-plagued former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is still complaining about how life is unfair after she lost the election against President Trump. Look at this woman. She looks like she hasn't bathed. Go home, Hillary. Go home and take a shower, please. The ongoing Russia probe has yet to find any evidence of collusion between the Trump campaign and the Kremlin. The only Russian collusion uncovered over the past 2 years since the 2016 presidential election was perpetrated by the Clinton campaign and Fusion GPS. Fusion was hired in the spring of 2016 to dig up dirt on then candidate Donald Trump. It did so by hiring a former top British spy specializing in Russia, Christopher Steele. But that is not stopping Clinton, who as Secretary of State sold Russia 20% of U.S. uranium reserves, from continuing to cry wolf. Where are the arrests? That's what I cannot understand. She's walking around making speeches nobody wants to listen to, yet we have to stick by and listen to her garbage all the time. Extremist ideologies are on the rise, and adding to the tumult is the fact that the forces that undermine America's election, that undermined the Americans' election in 2016 and are still with us, threatening other democracies, including this one, Clinton said in a speech at England's University of Oxford on Monday. What a crock of crap. The media lying about her emails being important, unfair investigations by the FBI, and interference with the Kremlin all led to Trump winning the election. You would have lost, Hillary. You would have lost whether your emails came out or not. Don't give yourself that much credit. You were a loser to begin with, and the presidential race would have only been between Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders. You weren't even a contender had you not bought out the DNC. So in the U.S., it was a perfect storm. Let's listen to this witch spew her garbage.
I believe we are at
She looks deranged. Look at her.
A moment that will determine whether we hold to the principles of free people, human rights, and democracy, or retreat into closed societies, oppression, and authoritarianism. Extremists.
I fear what life would have been like with that witch as president, really. I mean, thank the Lord that she is not president. Oh my, what would we have gone through with this one in office?
Ideologies are on the rise.
Listen to her soft-spoken voice. And she's a witch. She's an evil witch. Listen to how softly she speaks. Look at her. She looks like maybe she's hitting the sauce, who knows?
Or retreat into closed societies, oppression, and authoritarianism. Extremist ideologies are on the rise. And adding to the tumult is the fact that the forces that undermined America's election in 2016 are still with us, threatening a...
Do you understand what she's saying? She's saying the forces that undermined the election. Hillary, you lost, baby. You lost. Nobody wanted you except 20% of the liberal nut jobs and your Hollywood Satanist crowd. That's not enough to win the election, Hillary. You even had voter fraud. Dead people voting double times. I mean, I can't even stomach her. How people sit there and listen to her for like about an hour? I mean, it's beyond me.
Democracies, including this one.
Oh
Now, in the
my.
U.S., it was a perfect storm. Deep currents of anger and resentment flowing through our culture.
She's
A
delusional.
political press that told voters my emails were the most important story. Unprecedented intervention in our
And she laughs it off as if it's nothing. But that's not why she lost the election. She was going to lose anyway.
election by the FBI, and an information warfare campaign waged from the Kremlin.
Really?
What we have learned about Russian interference in 2016 is more than alarming.
Oh my
It's a
God.
clear and present danger to Western democracy.
Oh
In the
my
US, we
God.
know that Russian agents
Does she actually believe what she's saying here? Because, I mean, I can't even fathom that she can out and out lie like that with a straight face. Does she honestly believes what she's talking about?
used Facebook, Twitter, Google, YouTube, and other online
Whom all are working for you, and we're going through censorship because of you, you witch.
platforms to place targeted ads, to run phony news stories, negative stories, intended not only to hurt me, but to fan the flames of division within our society. So Russians posed as Americans, pretending to be environmental advocates or racial justice activists. They even held phony demonstrations, often with a woman dressed in a prison garb in a cage where everyone was yelling, "Lock her up." We are in the midst of a global struggle between liberal democracy and a rising tide of illiberalism. Vladimir Putin has positioned himself as the leader of an authoritarian, white supremacist, and xenophobic movement that wants to break up the EU and NATO.
And she wonders why she lost. She wonders why she lost. Do you hear why she lost? She is so out of touch. I mean, change your medication. Get off that medication, Hillary. I don't know. I don't know what to say at this point. She's on some heavy-duty meds to not even be in touch with what America wants. The American people have spoken.
Americas and the Atlantic alliances that traditionally have served us well and undermine democracy anywhere and everywhere they can. We can see this authoritarian movement rippling out from the Kremlin, reaching across Europe and beyond, emboldening right-wing nationalists, separatists, racists, and even neo-Nazis. I hear a lot from young people in the United States who are not just discouraged by the Trump administration.
Racists and neo-Nazis, the far right. What is she talking about? The ones that are making the problems are the nut jobs that voted for her, that wanted her to be president. I just can't. She has to be shut down, people. She has to be arrested. She has to be arrested for her crime. She can't be going around spewing this kind of crap continuously without any consequences, because she is wrong, totally wrong, and idiots listen to her.
Understandable. But they are disgusted by politics and disenchanted with our democratic system.
Really?
They've been told by voices on both the left and the right that it's a rigged game.
The only one that rigged it was you with your Soros machines, and you still lost because God was in control. Got to be that it was a divine intervention. There's no other way to explain Trump winning against all odds. You see, against all odds.
The natural conclusion is to believe there is no reason to keep playing. I understand that reaction. Hyper-partisanship and polarization, gridlock and stalemate all undermine confidence in the democratic process. And these problems are exacerbated in America by the actions of an administration waging war on the rule of law.
We would have been into a global war had you been elected.
Legitimizing elections, undermining truth and reason, attacking the press for reporting their words and deeds, perpetrating shameless corruption, and rejecting the idea that our leaders should be public servants who put the common good over their own personal and political interests.
Oh my.
On both sides of the Atlantic, we need to use the ballot box to reject the authoritarians and racists who threaten our unity and our future. And our democratic system.
Oh my. You know, I mean, everything that came out of her mouth was a lie. In the U.S., we know that the Russian agents use Facebook, Twitter, and Google. Oh no, I'm not sitting through another Hillary supports late-term abortion, accuses Trump. Yeah, it's true. I can't sit through another one. If you want to take a look at this article and listen to this witch spew garbage, I mean, really, it is sad, you know, that some people still actually listen to this thing. Late term, that's terrible. You know what? I can't anymore. You know, I get what you guys sometimes when you say that you don't want to listen to that witch. But, you know, it's good to get an idea of what's going on. You got to know what your adversary there is doing to some degree. But, you know, I had to control myself, and I wasn't doing a very good job because she just rubs me the wrong way. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.